where we have the Pink Club.
We're talking about we talk to women.
Yes.
Actually, this segment has made us meet very powerful
Yes,
women.
yes.
Like game changers.
Yes.
Innovators, disruptors. Like women who have gone beyond the normal, the usual.
Yes.
To do very disruptive things in the society, to either help the society in one way or another, or change a narrative.
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm always excited about the Pink Club. Yeah.
And today we're talking about beyond prison.
Beyond prison.
Beyond prison. Have you had a relative who, or a neighbor or a friend who has been in prison and then akarudi kwa society?
Not really.
Yeah. Me neither.
You?
No. So I'm happy to learn.
Yeah. But I know of a relative who's still incarcerated. Who's still in prison, and I know how hard it is. That can be like, for a family.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Hi, sawa. Tuambie.
Yes, so today we have a guest in studio. Her name is Lucy Karambu. Lucy is the founder and executive director of Resilient Woman, a Kenya-based organization that champions for the reintegration of formerly incarcerated women and girls and supporting children impacted by parental imprisonment. An alma mater of the University of Nairobi School of Business, alumni of Coady Institute and Minnesota Peace Building Institute. Lucy began her career in micro-enterprise development and microfinance, working closely with grassroots entrepreneurs and communities to strengthen economic resilience. Her exposure to international development through volunteerism and work across Eastern and Southern Africa broadened her perspective on systemic inequality and justice. And it's through her deep engagement with restorative justice that she took a radical offshoot into trauma healing and mentorship, recognizing it as foundational to successful reintegration for justice involved women and girls. Today, she's a passionate advocate for trauma-informed care and restorative justice approaches, committed to advancing holistic, dignity-centered processes that promote healing, economic empowerment, and sustainable re-entry and reintegration. We are titling our conversation today Beyond Prison. And we have Lucy Karambu in studio today, the founder of Resilient Woman. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Becky.
We start by asking you, what's your pink?
My pink. I think this morning I had a really exciting time meeting around 18 women who were getting enlisted into Kenya Girls Association. Passionate women that are doing a lot of stuff in the community and coming together because they want to give back to the society. And it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of learning. And I think it was a good start for my day.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. Kenya Girls Association. And I love your the scarf. And
thank you so much.
The gear around it.
We're all in,
Tell me, I forgive my ignorance, and probably you'll use this to teach me about the Kenya Girl Guide Association. I've always thought like it's for younger girls, like for women like
Bravos. Me. Over 35 years, the Bravos category, who are mentoring younger women.
Okay.
So this is the Bravos category. So, but we have the Rainbow, we have the Brownies, we have the younger leaders, and then ourselves, and then we have the older, we call them the older ones who are not necessarily really actively participating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. We should know some of these things, and know how to engage. Yeah, because it's good to pass information to the younger generation. It's good to pass knowledge to the younger generation.
I found a young woman there, and she saw the uniform, and she was like, I've always wanted to be part of the Kenya Girl
Association. Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance, and I told her, pick my number.
Oh, that's so cool. Like that's really
nice.
Really cool.
That's good to be a part of something bigger.
Yeah, of something bigger. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, that's really nice. So welcome to studio, Miss Karambu, Lucy Karambu. So for listeners who may not be familiar with your work, could you tell us about Resilient Woman and what inspired you to start it?
Yeah. So Resilient Woman is a community initiative. we support the reintegration of formerly incarcerated women and girls, and support children impacted by imprisonment, and even children living in difficult circumstances as a preventive approach. And a resilient woman was born 10 years ago. So we're actually celebrating our 10th anniversary.
Okay, great.
And we're inviting you for a walk. That's coming up on 8th of August.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So it's 10 years ago that we registered, that it was registered, and it was formed, born out of a conviction that restorative justice is actually at the heart of God. That there is no one that is beyond redemption, because people coming from prison are seen as sometimes beyond redemption, or they can't change, or they are forever carrying a tag of incarceration. But we believe that there is no one that is beyond redemption. Know that they need a support. And so what Resilient Woman does is we provide beyond, having relationship building in prison, where we do trauma healing, and in prison mentorship to address transitional issues. We link, when they leave, we link them up with trained mentors who walk the journey with them to be able to link them up to social groups, economic empowerment groups, to churches, to go out with them, to get them just beginning productive life. And so Resilient Woman was formed as a result of just understanding we have a role to support these women, and we cannot continue to look at them as sinners,
Yeah, and I hear you.
Yeah.
Was it like a personal experience, like with somebody that you knew? Like what made you move to that direction and say, you know what, I'm going to support incarcerated women who are incarcerated and help them reintegrate back to society? Tell us your story.
Yeah, that's a good question. As I said earlier, it was out of a conviction that restorative justice is at the heart of God.
Yeah.
So I studied restorative justice during a volunteering experience in South Africa years back. And at that time, one of the subjects that we were doing as part of our conflict resolution and peace studies program was restorative justice. And it was in specific reference to people who have been imprisoned, women who have been imprisoned. And for me, it got so personal. The reason is because we were looking at the impact of imprisonment on individuals and families. And thinking about the impact of imprisonment on children is what struck a chord in me. And for the first time, I actually thought about my own life. Growing up, I grew up with my grandmother when my mom and dad were separated. And my grandma was the best. She gave us the best. She was not a rich woman, but she was hardworking. She took care of us with the little that she had. I don't remember sleeping hungry a day. And thinking about that in relation to the cause, I couldn't just help but think of how do these children make it in the absence of their parents. And for the first time I thought about my own life as a child. And so that is when I started now writing what it is I wanted to do in relation to what is it that I can do. And that was more than around 15 years ago. I started writing, something that I wanted. What I wanted to do, putting down and just trying to refine. And in 2013, I came back and from work. I was then working in South Sudan, and I started visiting prison. I started going to Rangata and thinking that what I would give myself was business skills, because my background is BCom. I thought I would give business skills, but interacting with the women during discharge boards, during sessions, visiting children, stakeholder meetings, I realized women need more than just business skills. The first intervention is actually emotional stability. And I knew nothing about trauma healing. And so when I picked the fact that the first intervention is actually trauma healing, I now went out to study, looking at in information, and I bumped onto an institution that was training trauma, and that is where everything started, in learning and improving and capacity building of the organization. So that's how it all started.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're able to pursue it.
Absolutely. That's a very good introduction. And I want to mention a word that whenever we hear this word, you shake: ex-convict. Ex-convict, yeah?
Yeah.
So when people hear this word, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that they have around the women who have been incarcerated?
Yeah, some of the misconceptions is that when somebody comes from prison, they are still
criminals.
They're still criminals.
Yeah.
Others think you are going to your attitudes or your lifestyle is going to affect them and their children, and so people will will tell their children, do not work with mama so and so. Their children, do not work with John or Jane. Their mother is in prison or their father is in prison. Just thinking that there's something that's going to happen to you as a result of working with the person that's coming from prison. I think the misconception is also that everyone in prison has committed a crime, which is not true. Some people are in there because they are victims of circumstances. Yes, of course, there are those ones that have committed crimes, and we know a majority of the women are in for poverty-related crimes.
Wow.
Yeah, and so there are a lot of misconceptions around people coming from prison.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's assume there's this ex-convict, maybe called Jane, as you said, and Jane has finally left prison, and now they are walking out of that gate. What are some of the challenges that they face once they walk out of that gate?
We during a training session that we had,
yes.
We ask a specific question: what are your fears? What are your fears as you think about going home? And the training was happening inside prison. We usually do modules around conflict resolution, around parenting, around economic empowerment, spiritual formation. And we were asking our questions: what are your fears? And one of the women said, I am afraid when I go out that somebody is going to report me to the chief.
Wow.
That have come back and somebody else said that I'm afraid that when I am maybe a friend of somebody is going to tell that friend that I was in prison.
Okay.
Wow. And so that messes their relationships, even when they want to have friendships or relationships that affect them. So you're always feeling there's somebody saying something about me. So those are some of the fears. Some are afraid about how are they going to begin to relationships with the families that were affected by the crime, because like we said, there's those that have committed crimes, and they are maybe in the neighborhood. So are they going to accept me? Are they going to do they think I'm still a bad person? I'm going to do something to their children. I'm going to do something to the community. So they are actually living with that, like wanting to prove that I'm not the kind of person that you think I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
The way you put it, it's actually a fear on the person living in the prison walls. Wow.
Because probably they're still going back to the same society that they wronged so and so, quote unquote.
Yes, and that is why for us, one of the things that one of our pillars is sensitization and awareness creation, because we know the society is totally ignorant about the needs of people coming from prison. I mean, it's our brothers and sisters. And what would you do to your brother? or to your sister if they went to prison. You'd want the best for them. You do whatever it is that is in your power to do to ensure they change, they fit in the society, they become the best person in the community, become productive. And so sensitization and awareness creation is one of the things that we really put a lot of emphasis on, because we know people need to understand, and they need to know the public has got a role to play in reintegrating. And even in schools, what's happening to our children? Children whose moms or dads are in prison, some teachers will talk about them, or even some parents will tell their peers, do not work with that. And the child is carrying a burden that they don't need to carry. So awareness creation is very, very important.
And actually, talking about children, I wanted to ask that question: how are children affected by, their mothers being away from them? I know the prisons allow up to 4 years, like for mothers with children up to 4 years, they can stay with them in prison. But after that, now they have to leave. How are these children affected in terms of receiving back their parents or their mothers after that period of them being incarcerated? Talk about the child.
Every child wants to be with their mom and with their dad. I mean, that's out of question. And so when a parent leaves prison, even if the child is living with their grandma or with their sister or with their auntie or whoever else is left with the child that is beyond the age of 4, the child is affected. The separation affects the child. And so the child is affected in specific ways because, one, they might not live they'll not definitely live with a parent. If it's a case of maybe murder, where one has died, the other one is in prison, so the child will stay either with the relatives, or they will stay in a foster home. They'll stay with somebody. Children's home nowadays are not they are being phased out because they want the family-centered care. And so some children will be affected they will decide, I am not going to school, because they don't see the sense of going to school when their mom and dad their dad is not present. And we have one specific case where the mom went to prison, left 2 children, and when one of them consistently went to school and the other one would go to school and decide, I am not, he just wears uniform and just goes takes a different path and comes back, doesn't go to school. When the mom came back, of course the mom had to give the story, reconnecting with the family, and the child started going to school. But when the parent was away, the child completely just
because there's nobody to follow up,
and the child was shuttling between grandma, between uncle. This place, I mean, I can't live here because of 1, 2, 3, go to there. So the child is really, really, really affected. I mean, the person, I think the section of all of this that's affecting is children. Children are really, really affected. And maybe talking about that and the programs that are in prison. Could you talk about that? Because I'm sure you've interacted with most of the prisons in the country, and just knowing what goes on inside there. Could you talk to people about what goes on inside there that would actually create a better person that comes out? When this person is out of prison, what kind of a person is coming out of prison? Talk about there
that.
are a lot of programs. Different people are carrying out different programs, really targeted towards the woman and targeted towards the children. Specifically, what Resilient Woman does is we do relationship building. First of all, we reach out to them, we spend time with them, we're sharing the word of God, we're sharing whatever it is that we have, materials for the women, materials for children, and then we have specific meetings with children, with mothers who have children in prison, just to talk about, how did you come here? And some of them are repeated. They have come back. And how is this affecting your child? How do you want to see this change going forward? And then other programs that we do is we run a 8 weeks module, specifically focusing on their transitional issues, because and this is out of this is out of the need of from interacting with the women, what we see from interacting with the women. So conflict resolution is one of them, for them to be able to resolve conflict, which is a definite contributor to some of the women going to prison, because the issues of being unable to resolve conflict, and there is killing, there is all these things that happen, assault. And then we have anger management. We do parenting, because parenting now for the women, when they are in prison, and even before their life, they need to really be able to have skills to be able to do proper parenting, not just in prison, the ones who have children, but when they leave. Then we do spiritual formation. We think it's everyone has to fall back to some spiritual support for not just their own healing, but to be able to live with others, and to be it's a way of being able to live life with a focus, I guess, and grounding. Then we informed by an assessment that we did during one of the sessions. We came up with a module focusing on social issues. When women leave prison, even men, sometimes you have been in prison for a long time. You're not sure what's happening to your husband, what's happening to your wife. How do you even begin to relate with them? Relationship between husband and wife. How do you begin the conversation? Some cultures do not allow women to say, like, can we go and do a test? So we do we do a module focusing on that to be able to really help them navigate that. And then a module on remaining hopeful. How do they link with the community, with the churches, with mentors, with people who can be of support to them, and in a way that is not perpetuating a victim mode, because we don't want to look at this woman as you are a victim and there's nothing you can do. So an empowering approach that you can actually stand on your own. We only facilitate your support when you go back. There are things that you can do. We link you up with groups, with the community, and you can begin your life. So those are some of the programs. And of course, the prison does a lot. In the training, there are industries that the prison does. I
have a sweater that I bought at the Langata women, the textile section.
Work, there are a lot of skills that the women gain when
baking,
they come from prison. And so that's why also understanding the women as part of our relationship building, knowing what have you been doing when you go out, what do you want to do, what kind of support, that's important.
Beautiful.
You know what, Becky, I've heard, when you talk about reintegration, the last comment was about you can learn skills that you can bring out here and earn money out of it. So obviously there's an economic angle to it, yes. And while maybe I could learn a skill and still come here and start my own kiosk or something, there's also people who are professionals who need to, once they come back, they're looking for jobs, they're looking for employment particularly, and they're looking for at banks to give them capacity and finances. What challenge? What's happening there? People who are looking for employment, not skills that they can start their own to be assured.
And probably with that criminal record. Record.
That label, it affects them forever. And so getting jobs is a challenge. And so what Resilient Woman does specifically is we support individuals to pursue what it is that the skill that you gain, or even anything else that you'd want to pursue when you leave. So training the women individually and training them as groups, and to be able to save and be able to borrow and do their businesses. And we have done that in Tharaka-Nithi, where we operate an economic empowerment initiative specifically for only women that are coming from prison. And in Kericho, we also have a group that is doing an economic empowerment program. We support them by also doing exchange visits, so that they can learn economic models that they can employ in their economic empowerment activities. And that happened last year. And they've been able to
improve their lives in one another. But I'd still want to ride on her question. But suppose someone has that criminal record. Is there a way that do I say, is it the government? is there a way that record can be cleaned after they've served their time in jail? I know the record is still there, but is there a way that now it can be, okay, fine, this person already served their term in jail and now they have acquired this kind of skills? How do you help such women who maybe might not be in a position to, or maybe they're not into business, they're not into, doing jobs that are skill-based, and probably they, like she had said, they are looking for employment. How would you say that process is like, and what would you recommend so that probably these women can have a better chance to get employment? Do you get my point?
It's starting first of all with the organization Resilient Women, building a relationship with organizations that resonate with the work that we do. Like hotels or like institutions that really resonate, and demonstrating that the women that we work with have actually changed, and this is what we are talking about, and linking, like having that relationship and recommending them to such institutions, because they already see this is the person we are talking about, and this is what they are doing, and beginning with even roles that, like volunteer roles, and they
can assess them from the at a policy level. What would you recommend? Do you think it's fair for this woman, fine, they've already served their time in jail, and then you still treat them as...
they continue to suffer. At a policy level, I think that is something that needs to be revisited.
Because as much as your records are with the DCI, fine, the criminal record is there, but it should be able, like after they've served their time in jail, there should be a review sort of, a review that would I don't know.
Even this thing of lock and throw away the key are really bad, because people change. And people make different decisions in their lives, and people transform, not just changing, and become totally different people taking a different path. And so I think that we need to extend the grace, that's what we preach ourselves. Because if we were to be assessed on the basis of the things that we have done, I don't know who would stand. And because we've experienced that grace, why don't we extend it? And just give people a chance to be able to begin a reproductive life, to take care of themselves, and take care of their families and begin their lives
once again. So what qualities have you seen in women who successfully rebuilt their lives? Could you share like a story of a woman that you worked with and you've seen them rebuild their lives? What qualities have you seen?
This is something that I am very, very passionate about, because I have seen it demonstrated in the life of this specific woman who left prison in 2016. She's been part of the mentorship program. Our children have been supported by Resilient Women through education. One of them is actually now in Form 4, starting from grade 3. So for the all over, the support has been there for the over around 10 years. So the mother is somebody that is, the people that you enjoy supporting, because they give of themselves, they are committed, they're not looking at you as their savior. Because we are not. We are just agents to empower, to guide, to support, to create an environment through sensitization that women can now move and begin their lives. And so when this specific woman gives of themselves, they take initiative, and they are desirous of growth. They want to interact with the community. But also, when they came out, of course, we had interactions with them in prison, supporting through trauma healing and encouraging them to really go out and know that they have our support. They were not afraid of saying that I was in prison. And even to date, they're not afraid of saying they're in prison. They have been in prison. And so just being out there. And for that reason, she has actually been given a lot of leadership roles. Okay. She lives in Kajiado.
Oh, great.
Yes. And she leads in the church, leads in the community. She's just an outgoing woman and really loving and taking care of her children. For me, that is the greatest that could happen. Just
and not allowing that stigma and shame to be like a cloud,
Yes, as much as it's not easy because the community is not sensitized, but it's an achievement. It's a milestone for a woman to really get out there and say, I'm not going to be defined by
my past.
By my past. Taking charge of their lives and just working hard to take care of their family.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want you to talk directly to the women who are in prison. Some of them. Some have recently just been released. From obviously the experience you have and the work you've also put in. What encouraging message do you have for them?
For the women that are currently in prison.
Yes.
What I would say is that Resilient Woman loves these women. We love you, women that are in prison, and we are committed to working with you, not just outside, but when you're in prison.
Okay.
To provide the support that we're able to the children, the programs to the children and to the women that are in prison. And specifically, I would want them to know that we would want to provide needs, initiatives that responds to their needs, because their needs, when we go in there sometimes we want to assume these are their needs. So we would want them to know that we want their voice in what it is that we are doing. Interventions, just like we are done in the past in designing programs in a prison, we would want to hear their voice. What is it what are your needs that we can design programs around? But above all, I would also want to say that they are not beyond redemption. There is no one that's beyond redemption, and these women that are in prison enjoy the grace of God just like you and me. And God loves.
Okay. As we wind up, if you could change one thing about our justice system tomorrow, what would it be?
Is making people suffer for structural injustices. And structural injustices, not having poverty-related crimes are as a result of structural issues. Because if there's an environment that has been created, for women to be able to work and thrive in business, and just be able to take care of their lives, take care of the lives of their children, poverty-related crimes would be reduced. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, we have a minute. Maybe you could just give us your closing remarks so that we call it a day.
If you wanted to get in touch with you, how they do
yes.
that?
Socials. And can I invite the people to? No, I can't. So you can get in touch with Resilient Woman through on Facebook, Resilient Woman of Africa, on YouTube, Resilient Woman of Africa, on X-Space, Resilient WOA, and Instagram, Resilient Woman of Africa.
Okay.
Yes.
That's how you can keep in touch.
Yes.
With you.
And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so
You're a
much,
disruptor. You're making a difference in the society, and we really appreciate that, Lucy Karambu. Today I've learned something about what justice you said about what? Restorative justice.
Restorative justice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Now, Becky, kesho, uplift is sangapi? Trivia question: what time does uplift start?
Oh my gosh, does it start at 6?
Who's the host?
Okay, Anthony Ndiema.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Now it starts at 5 a.m.
5
to 9 a.m.
5 to 9 a.m.
Yeah, and I encourage
who
our
does he have
listeners.
tomorrow? I'm not
sure.
seen the...
I've not seen the poster as
Who
well.
are you hosting?
Ndiema will be here to
Okay, great.
to uplift our listeners and to encourage them for the week.
Yeah, with the word of God from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yes, but that's tomorrow. For ourselves, the Pink Perspective. Becky,
What are you
and
looking forward this week?
This coming week? No, but I know what I'm looking forward to the other week.
The other week.
The other week. That's
Exactly. I'm
staying
really
positive
excited for you. Yeah.
Thank you, my love. Thank you so much.
It's continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement.
That's what it keeps talking about. Yes.
It's true.
Yeah.
So I'll see you next Saturday.
I'll see you
10
next
a.m.
Saturday, 10 a.m. God
Absolutely.
willing. Thank you.